Welcome back to ChiroThon 2023 at the Michigan Association of Chiropractors. Have we had fun already? I think this is the most amazing moment in chiropractic because we're elevating, we're celebrating, and we are promoting great health. And we need your help. So as you know, we started this yesterday and we're trying to raise $50,000. Why? Because unfortunately there are people out there that are suffering and they don't know what a first-line non-pharmacological approach is, a drug-free approach to their pain care. So if you will join me, I have some very exciting announcements. Your dollars are going to be matched. That's right. I said every dollar you donate will be matched by the chairman of the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress. That is Mr. Kent Greenewalt. He's also the CEO and founder of Foot Levelers, and that makes this even more exciting for us to push the dial, make the $50,000 donation happen. And I have a very, very special guest with me today that I want to bring in because this is how magic happens. It's people doing the right thing for the right reason. And right now, my special guest is Mr. Daryl DeLuca with Addicts Nutrition. Oh, it's so good to see you.
So, as you know, Addicts has been around for about 47 years now, right? We started a long time ago. Family-run business with the one still is. Started from an illness in the family. Back in the late 1950s, our cousin had Hodgkin's disease, which was a death sentence back then. They had given him about 60 days to live. My father started sending him over to Europe for some unconventional therapies that were all nutritionally based. And that's where the interest in this came out. And it was kind of like, I don't know if you ever saw that movie, The Graduate. If you're old enough to remember that movie, there was a scene in there where Dustin Hoffman's out by the pool and the guy's going, remember this one word, plastics? Well, with my father, it was remember this thing, nutrition. This is what's going to change the world, okay? And his view, and we learned this from him, was the part of the health profession that was going to make this happen was the chiropractic profession, because they were the profession that was evolving the fastest. They were made up of individuals who were entrepreneurial. They were kind of renegades. People that have been around long enough knew what kind of battles they had to fight, and they are changing the world. And we're very, very pleased just to play our small part in supporting chiropractic and helping make this change happen, and riding on the coattails of what Kent is doing and the hard work that you guys are doing to make this happen. And so I'm just going to challenge other folks that are out there to take advantage of this matching opportunity that's out there and do what we did and kick in something to help make this happen. It's a big thing. These are the guys that are doing all the heavy lifting, but we're very, very happy to play our small part in promoting chiropractic. We all love chiropractors, we all use chiropractors, and we're huge believers in the profession, and we just think it needs to be elevated, and everybody needs to be able to take advantage of it.
Fantastic. So we have a wonderful sponsor, Addicts, who is willing to step up and step in to helping others know exactly what their family went through and knowing that nutrition is a massively important piece.
Absolutely.
So your donation today, Mr. DeLuca, is for Addicts. Is there a fund amount that you would like to share? We just got, ladies and gentlemen, and my chiropractic community, a $2,500 Addicts donation. May I hug you?
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is the generosity of Addicts and others out there that are making progress happen for the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress and the Michigan Association of Chiropractors.
You keep up the good work.
Go team! All right. Now, as you know, we have so much more to keep going with, and during this specific vignette that is about to happen, I want to remind you that our two top donors are going to win 2 tickets to the NFL Detroit Lions and Atlantic Falcon game on September 24th. That's a pretty exciting moment, and it will be at the Ford Field. So bring in the donations. You never know if you're going to be that top sponsor for those 2 tickets. Now, this vignette is sponsored by ChiroHealth USA. We are so grateful to all our corporate sponsors. As you just saw, Coming in as a special alert, now ChiroHealth USA is a chiropractor supporter. For all the chiropractors out there, I want you to listen carefully. ChiroHealth USA is stepping up and stepping in to sponsor this particular vignette. And it's ChiroHealth USA is a provider-owned network. It works in conjunction with the discount medical organizations that are out there, and it's designed with you, doctor, in mind so that you can sleep easy at night, knowing that your financial opportunities to help your patients are taken care of. That means that compliance is key, and ChiroHealth USA has your back when it comes to compliance. So we're just going to watch a short video from ChiroHealth USA.
Hi everyone, this is Christy with ChiroHealth USA, and I hope you are enjoying your ChiroThon. ChiroHealth USA has been in business for over 15 years, serving this incredible chiropractic profession. We have over 7,000 providers in our network nationwide that are serving over 1 million families, giving them access to affordable chiropractic care. Whether you're a patient or a provider, we encourage you to visit www.chirohealthusa.com.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're super excited to bring in our next guest, but before I do that, we are now over $8,000 in donation because of you, because of what you are doing today, helping us support getting that first line drug-free approach out there to all Michiganders, even across the nation. That's what's important. And educating our patients about chiropractic care. We could not have a better guest than we have today. This is our special guest. You may know this beautiful face. It's Dr. Alessandra Colón. She is the star of the TLC channel, Crack Addict. Let me just deep dive into who she really is before her and I get into the semantics of why she did Crack Addict. She has a deep compassion for helping people in wellness, which if you watch TLC Crack Addict, and I highly recommend that you do, you will know right away that she has a love for patients to be well and stay well. How did she get there? At the age of 14 years old, she was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Taking a breath from that, that's pretty impressive because we know 25% chance to live. So this is just monumental to even have her here today. And when I say that, I deeply, deeply mean that those out there that are suffering, this is an inspirational moment. She graduated from Palmer College in Florida after doing her bachelor's degree in Arizona. So we have a lot of education, a lot of motivation, and a lot of inspiration right here. Telling you about her in 2010, because she's so passionate, she took up her license and she went to the Dominican Republic and the Grenadines to help people that have no idea about chiropractic. Hence, ChiroThon is helping those as well. So along she went to help 4,000 patients find a better life, find a better quality of life. And as we get down into the nitty-gritty, you'll also notice that she is not just a doctor, she is not just a beautiful individual, she's a mother of a recently birthed baby boy, which is epic in and of itself because we know family matters. But we come back down to what did she do after she went to the Grenadines? She ended up supporting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Foundation, so much so she was named Woman of the Year. I know she's getting embarrassed and she hates this part, but you need to know who your Crack Addict guest host is, and this is Dr. Alessandra Colón. Welcome to ChiroThon Mac.
Thank you. That was awesome.
We have so much fun together.
Yes.
Already. We've been on the road, we've been doing things together, and one of the key things is you have a motivation to help the world.
Yes.
And you're doing that in so many different ways. One of which we know is your TV show. But I want to start a little bit further back. Did you always see yourself in the medical profession?
I'm going to be honest, the answer is no. The answer is no. Actually, comically, and I'll tell this story, I was the singer, I was the dancer, I was the pianist. My mom had me in pageants my whole life. I was kind of like the little mini Mariah Carey of the house. My brother is this super brilliant intellectual human being. So my mom kind of had this idea when we were growing up that I was going to be like, you know, the musical princess, and that I was going to be on American Idol one day. That's what she thinks, not me. And that my brother was going to be the doctor, right? And so she really kind of carved the path for that. So I grew up in theater arts, actually, and doing choir. And fast forward, my family, my dad's a petrochemical engineer. We ended up living in Saudi Arabia. And as you know, when I got back to the United States, about 10 months after moving back to the United States, I got diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And it was a terminal, for me it was almost terminal because I had a 25% chance to live. I think ultimately this is what catapulted me wanting to be a doctor. I already had this love and joy for theater arts and shining and making people smile. And when the doctor part came into it and when cancer came into play, I was like, why don't I just kind of create the mix of this, right? Because I found that there was another way to heal people, and it was through a chemo bag, which is not the happiest thing to say, but it was my truth, right? And so I'm really, really blessed, and I hate to say that I'm blessed to have cancer, but that journey, having had cancer, is really what led me down to being a doctor.
It's a big journey, and you did it with a smile and an energy that very few can pull off after having an experience like that. So you went from being 14 and having this unfortunate diagnosis, recognizing that the medical community was so influential in your healing,
Yes.
and that there was this part of your life. But then what was the leap of faith that really brought you into the chiropractic opportunity?
So this is interesting because while I was going through chemotherapy, this is the first time that my mother ever initiated psychotherapy, yoga, exercise, because she really felt that I needed an outlet to get through everything that I was going through and the trauma that I went through. Fast forward, I get to college and I'm taking my MCATs, looking to be a medical doctor, but I'm still going through therapy. And I think going through that therapy is what unveiled this cloud that I wasn't really chasing the right dream. So I took about a year off from school afterwards. I decided not to go to sign up for a medical doctor. And a friend of mine goes, hey, why don't you go see a chiropractor? And I'm like, why would I go see a chiropractor? Like, chiropractors, what's that? You know? And I even told my mom, she's like, are they doctors? You know? She did what everyone else did. I did what everyone else did. And when I went to go visit this doctor, he lived in Margate, New Jersey. It was the first time I had ever learned about the chiropractic triad. And it was the first time I witnessed a physician talk to their patient about health, about their body, about their mental state of mind. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, this doctor is talking about the body healing itself with what? With all the things that my mom taught me, yoga, nutrition, right? Going to therapy, and he's doing it with his hands? I mean, I was in awe. I couldn't believe there were doctors out there or chiropractors that healed people this way. And I was like, that's it. I'm signing up. And I went. I signed up for Palmer Chiropractic College in Florida, and I never looked back.
There's certain things that I think kind of propel us through a journey, and thank goodness your mom was right there with you, that she was willing to uplift and tell you there's other opportunities out there, not knowing what chiropractic was about, which, by the way, for you listening out there, this is kind of a keynote. ChiroThon is here for people who don't know, like Dr. Alessandra Colón, what chiropractic is. What is it? Does it actually work? How do they work? What's their philosophy?
And no clue.
What's going to happen? And Crack Addict was that. And donating today, forget the Detroit Lion tickets, although they're fabulous, and forget that we're matching donations. One of the key aspects today is helping people find a better solution. And that's what happened to you. You found a better solution. You became a chiropractor. And if I hear you right, you never look back.
Nope, I never looked back, and I'm so proud of that. I really am.
So then you get brought onto a TV show.
Oh, I did.
And let me tell you, it wasn't exactly the opportune time, but you know what? There is no opportune time for things like this to happen in your life, right?
No, there wasn't.
So why wasn't it the opportune time for you?
For so many reasons. We had just gotten out of a pandemic that, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I was also pregnant. And so when they brought up the idea that I was going to be doing a television show and that I had to film, I had so many insecurities. I'm supposed to be worried about, the chiropractic profession, but in my mind, I'm thinking about having lost of baby weight. I am in the middle of postpartum, and I have to, well, excuse it, but breastfeed on camera in front of everybody and just get this done. So it wasn't the most opportune time, but like anything else, you have to jump off and have faith and go with the flow, and that's exactly what I did.
You definitely went with the flow, and I cannot be more grateful because now so many more people know about Crack Addict. If you haven't watched the show, it's on TLC. You can look it up. You can find Dr. Alessandra Colón. She's got millions of followers. It's not hard to find you, but you do want to watch the episodes because it's a jump-off point to where we are today.
Yes.
Seeing the types of patients that you got to see.
It was incredible.
And really on how that actually led up to more people recognizing that chiropractic is not just about the cracking noise, but it's about healing. So
100%.
Tell me, what was some of the things that you learned while you were on the TV show? What are some of the things Crack Addict brought to you?
The reason for me that chiropractic is such a big deal is really because we're essentially putting chiropractic out there on a nationwide platform, if not, worldwide. Add to that on one of the largest networks in America. So you're talking about bringing chiropractic to a forefront that has never existed before. And more importantly, we're normalizing it, right? Because there's been this connotation around the chiropractic profession for how long? I mean, we've all heard it. And we're normalizing what I really think the true pandemic is. We're saying that real medicine is taking Tylenol, over-the-counter drugs, but what if we normalize that real medicine is the food we eat, the water that we drink, getting regularly adjusted, exercised, and this show showcases all those things, that the body truly heals itself. And if you can reduce inflammation, create, reduce nerve interference, and people have no idea that chiropractors are the most unique physicians out there. We get to place our hands on people and in a special private space and heal them and speak to them and speak to their bodies and speak to wellness. This platform is just the perfect, magnificent way to do so.
Bringing it in and recognizing that the body will heal itself given the right environment. And that's really the environment that you brought in. As you see it, and as really patients across the nation and maybe even across the world are starting to see chronic illness, hypertension, obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, how do you see the future of chiropractic moving forward?
I want to bring this back because we don't always talk about the history of chiropractic, right? We forget about that. And in terms of medicine, Western medicine versus alternative medicine, right? Chiropractic is fairly new because we won in Supreme Court in 1992 against AMA. But we all know chiropractic existed since, 1895. We know that, right? And I think there's been a major shift with what happened with the pandemic. I think what's happening right now is that people are just now figuring out, right, that the answer to a healthy lifestyle isn't what we're doing, right? The answer to a healthy lifestyle is really, truly how we embrace our bodies, right? And I think people need to know that, and I think there's an awakening happening. And I think this green era and this new generation that's coming out, and they're realizing that these things are truly creating disease in America. And I think this is very, very important to zone in on, right? Because it's new, not to us, but to everyone else.
Very powerful, very powerful. You use the word disease, and as chiropractors, we often take that word apart and we use it with dis-ease, which means our bodies are no longer comfortable. They're out of the normal balance.
Yes.
And I came up with a quote. I'm going to share it with you today. Okay. The past, a pill for every ill. The future, a DC to nurture.
I love that. I love that.
So I think as we go through, really generating the enthusiasm, I know a lot of people get excited about the popping noise that happens. Well, there's always that.
kind of like it. Am I allowed to say that? I mean, I kind of like it. I'm a crack addict. What can I say?
She's a crack addict. We do love it. I mean, we do love the popping noise.
Yes.
For many out there that wonder, I don't want my back cracked, share with them why that play on words is kind of fun, crack addict.
Well,
Because you didn't get to choose the title, right?
I did not. This is like a really big ugh for me. No, I did not. But again, TV knows TV, and I know chiropractic, and I know that we might not want to hear the word crack and addict, and there's a negative connotation. Once you see the show, it's completely positive, right? And it's okay, because guess what? You got to learn how to have fun with it, right? And your patients are going to understand subluxation and nerve interference, and guess what they understand sometimes? Crack. And we're cracking their bones and popping their bones, and it's sometimes a way of connecting to our patients on just a very chill, normal level, right? Instead of having to make it so sciencey and so professional and so doctoral, it's okay to have those conversations with your patients and just have fun with it.
Love it. Fun is what we have, and you and I probably have way too much fun.
Oh gosh.
But the big picture here is yesterday we released a press release on the Harris poll, and it really is showing that the highest utilization of chiropractic is between the ages of 17 and 25.
Wow.
And to me, that means that all of those millions of followers that you have on Instagram and Pinterest and TikTok and Facebook, we're making a difference.
Absolutely.
Like, we're really connecting with our future. And that is epic.
Well, you understand the new era is very, very different, right? This new era is all about social media, and ASMR is trending, and cracking is trending, and popping is trending, which we look at it like, oh gosh, like it's trending on social media. But I look at it like, keep getting the chiropractic name out there. Like, all right, let that be a movement, let that be a wave. So I look at it like nothing but blessings.
I think it's a blessing. And for those that are listening, I've never had a moment where I was disappointed I became a chiropractor. I already know you, and I know that you had to come from a very difficult place to get to this spot. I don't think there's ever a moment where you thought to yourself, I'm disappointed I became a chiropractor.
No. I say it over and over again, and I think sometimes as chiropractors, mind me for saying so, we get in our own way, right? Because this person has this philosophy, this person adjusts this way, this person doesn't like that you didn't do that, or so forth and so forth. When the bottom line is we're here for our patients and right to heal and to promote. And I think that if we can connect on that level and promote the future of chiropractic in that sense, we're always going to come out winning. But when the going gets tough, and I want to make sure that I say this right, when the going gets tough, I want us all to recognize the power that we have in our hands, because that is what makes us unique, right? That when I approach that table, everything that flows out of me flows into my patient, right? And I'll tell you this is a perfect example. It's what brings me back to the love of my profession, to love of chiropractic. Last week, before I left my current practice, I maybe had more grown men come out of my office crying because their adjustment wasn't just about nerve interference. It was an emotional release. And I say this because we need to remember how amazing chiropractic is. We need to remember what we do. And when we can connect to that, we're going to win every single time.
Every single
time.
You're right, because I'm a very highly competitive individual, and we're winning in ChiroThon with MAC, the Michigan Association of Chiropractic. Listen, your dollars are met dollar for dollar, and I know she's supporting us right here, right now. And I want to say to those that are listening that have never tried chiropractic, because I know there's a lot of you out there, I know we're streaming on multiple channels right now, is that Crack Addict is one spot in life that can show you the power of being right back to balance, having the body connect with itself. And you're right, tears, they come. Because emotional releases are physical releases. You release pain, you release tears. Oftentimes you see that.
It's a beautiful thing.
There's two things that I often hear, and you'll laugh because I know you're one of them. I love my chiropractor. Okay, I know you're out there. You love your chiropractor. You donate today. Second one is, you're a miracle worker. If I had $1 for every time we got called miracle workers, ChiroThon would be epic
Yes,
already,
yes.
dollar
Harry
for
Potter.
dollar. But let me ask you this, because you are really retraining the youth, the ones that are really starting to see the benefits of a non-drug-free approach to health, nutrition, exercise, motivation, inspiration, mental health awareness, all of the things that really are critical. Tell me what you think is the parallel of being able to have a professional career in chiropractic and have a lifestyle of health. Tell me what your thoughts are on a career in chiropractic.
You have to live, eat, breathe it. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's roses and butterflies, because it's not. You might come out of college with $300,000 in loans and be freaked out that you can't make it, but you can't have a scarcity mindset. And what I'll tell you this is, always go back to your philosophy, right? Always, always go back to your love. And try and inundate yourself into maybe shadowing or seeking out a mentor so you can properly inundate yourself into chiropractic and what it takes to really engage, not just with your patients, but in business acumen, because that's going to be really, really important if you're looking for a career in chiropractic, right? Because we aren't taught a lot of that. And this world is a little bit tough. And you got to toughen up, have some thick skin, and get ready to roll your sleeves up. And if you can do that and always seek light and love, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But remember to stick to your philosophy, remember to stick to nerve interference, and try and get some business development in there. I think that's important.
You heard it right here with Crack Addict. It's not easy, but it's so worth doing.
Every time.
You sit there right now, and yes, we're bringing you a lot of information in regards to how the body heals itself.
Yes.
But physician heal thyself, which is why you became a chiropractor. You internally developed an understanding, a philosophy, and a love
Yes.
for chiropractic. And that, I think, can never be underestimated. And as those grandparents out there, those parents, if you see the inkling of your son or daughter thinking about potentially healing the body without the use of drugs or surgery, chiropractic may be, in fact, that career that will bring them the excitement that Alessandro clearly brings to our presentation today. I want to ask you one last question.
Of course.
And it's always
ready.
the best question. When you look at the big world as your oyster, what is the future for you? Where are you going to go, and how are you going to spread more light and more love for this profession?
You know, I had a conference a couple weeks ago, and in that conference I sat there thinking, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? Because I really thought it was sitting in an office in Palm Beach Gardens adjusting patients, and I'm realizing that my purpose is so much bigger than that. My purpose is to serve people, and I have every intention of not just doing that through my practice, through my show, but I'm just getting started. You wait. I'm going to be on stages speaking the word of chiropractic all over the world, and I cannot wait to get started.
That, you heard it right here, ChiroThon Mac. We can't be more excited, but we need your help. f4cp.org/Mac. You can donate. Your donation is going to be met dollar for dollar with our chairman. And as you can see, we have a lot of love going on. We have a lot of light going on. And if you come back, we've got more fabulous guests that will only entertain you, educate, and celebrate with us why the profession of chiropractic is so amazing. Thanks for joining this segment. Meet me right back here, and I'll tell you how many more donations came in when we have this lovely guest. Thank you so much.